Well, Hurta had a huge mile breakthrough at 4:31.80 on an oversized track just a few weeks ago. There are 3 Arkansas runners in this mile final, and this will have a lot to do, Dan O'Brien, with what the fate of Arkansas will be. They lost almost half of their entries in the prelims, but they still have 13 finalists that can score here on the last day.
Well, I talked to Lance Harder this morning, and he said he was fine. He said he was absolutely fine. The people that he wanted to get through got through, and he was counting on those 4th, 5th, and 6th places today. But no reason to panic, and he took a look around and said, look, this is what Texas A&M can do. I know what they can do. Here's what we can do. So, you know, 3 Razorbacks in the mile here. This is a great place for them to really start some momentum and get something going now.
No question about that. Kennedy Thomson of Arkansas into the early lead, followed closely by Annette Konieczek of Oregon. Grace Hyde of Arkansas there in 3rd. And then it's Krissy Gear with number 10 on her hip.
Well,
back in the back of the pack.
I was going to say, while Krissy Gear is, you know, in the back of the pack, she controlled her prelim race yesterday just really from start to finish. But in the distance medley relay, she looked a little bit tired. So it's going to be interesting to see if she's got that energy and that pep. We've seen her run way back at the pack like this before, and it always seems like the Arkansas runners up front are a little bit of sacrificial lambs to the better kicker of Krissy Gear.
Working her way through the pack. 68 seconds for the first 400 meters. Around 4:32 pace if they were to keep it up. Thomson continuing to lead over Konieczek. Hurta that is there in 3rd. Gracie Hyde there for Arkansas. Krissy Gear now up in about 7th. There's 10 competitors in this final.
Sage Hurta has a 2 flat 800-meter personal best, so you know she has a devastating kick. A couple people behind her there in, it's like 6th position. That's Katie Rainsberger out of Washington. She's always a gamer at the end of these races.
Threw in about a 70-second 400 there, 2:18 at the half mile, so slowed it down ever so slightly. More in the 4:35 neighborhood now. As Thomson continues to lead. Konieczek of Oregon is there, then Hurta. Now Krissy Gear into 4th. And Gracie Hyde. So Arkansas with 3 of the top 5 right now, with 3 laps remaining. Hurta looking like she might want to make a move, but thought better of it. Now Hurta making a move on the backstretch. Did the same thing in her prelim. Into the lead now. Konieczek also looks like she wants to make that move, but Thomson still remains in 2nd. Coming up to the 3/4 mark, and Hurta forging a little bit of a gap there as Krissy Gear now moves up next to her teammate. 3:27 at the 3/4 mark, so Hurta definitely moving things along.
Krissy on the shoulder of Kennedy Thomson. Looked like she spoke to her just briefly, but they cannot let this gap to Sage Hurta get too far open. It's going to be impossible to catch her with 200 meters to go. Here's Krissy's best chance to make a move on this straightaway to close that gap.
Right now, Arkansas looking at 14 points with 2nd and 3rd. Hurta still looks full of run and still a gap between herself and Krissy Gear. And then she just shifted right after that start-finish line. Thomson has to hang on to 3rd. She led most of the race, and that takes a little bit more effort. Hurta is in full sprint now, and Gear just does not have another gear to catch her. It's going to be Sage Hurta of Colorado, the senior, who is going to win this mile title with a personal best. Krissy Gear 2nd, Kennedy Thomson 3rd, and Kaylee Richards of UMass Lowell getting 4th. And Arkansas also finishing 9th, no points there. So 14 for the Razorbacks. That's a good start for the home team.
Well, Sage Hurta started winding this thing up about 500 meters to go. And they're on the back straight. We'll see those athletes glance up on the big screen, but she just began to increase the pace, and she was able to pull away with about 200 meters to go, and then with 100 to go, she just drops the hammer. She's coached by Heather Burrows and Mark Wetmore and trains with Jenny Simpson. Can't think of a better trio to get you to a successful championship win.
Well, an outstanding effort by Sage Hurta. Really ran a smart race. 4:30.58, a personal best. Krissy Gear of Arkansas, Kennedy Thomson second and third. They get 14 points for the Razorback. A nice start for their title hopes. And John is with the winner.
Sage Hurta, it looked like we went through this thing for several laps, and then you decided to start the race. What was your strategy when you decided to make your move?
That was kind of the strategy over the second half. I knew I was strong, and I wanted to push it and make sure I was in good position to win.
It is a wonderful legacy of distance runners at Colorado, and you have your name etched up there with all the great ones. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.